Welcome back to the Crypto is Key conversation. In today's video, we're going to take a look at some updates in the Ripple versus SEC case. James K. Fallon kind of keeps us up to date and kind of what's going on in regards to the motions within the case. Eleanor Terrett had asked Representative Sherman, which we covered in our video yesterday with that hearing, had asked Representative Sherman why he thinks XRP is a security, because remember he had like a bold blanket statement twice in the beginning and at the end that XRP was a security. So we're going to cover what Eleanor Terrett has in this tweet thread here, and then Johnny Deaton's kind of showing some love to the community for fighting the good fight, and there's a great dialogue and conversation happening within this tweet thread here that we're going to cover, and then we're going to cover Johnny Deaton on Liz Claman's show with Charles Gasparino. And I want to thank Coining203 for putting this video up, so we're going to take a look at that as well. And then Roger Guru says, breaking Tesla earning reports reveals they sold 75% of their Bitcoin worth $936 million. So quickly coming over here to CoinGecko before we get into that content, we're currently sitting at $1.08 trillion market cap, currently down 1.3%. So obviously we're finally over that $1 trillion market cap, holding pretty strong as it seems like. It's nice that we're not under that, in the 900s and 800 billions. Bitcoin's currently sitting at 23,328. Obviously breaking, a major resistance that we've been hitting, and per the analysts that I follow, we are bouncing off of some ports. Obviously, in the larger time scales, we just got to wait and see how the days and weeks and months go from here. But this is a lot of positivity within the market. Ethereum's currently sitting at 1,525. Coming down here into XRP, currently sitting at 36 cents. We saw this almost at 38 cents yesterday. On the 7-day, we have 15.5% for XRP, 20.6% for Bitcoin, and Ethereum's almost up 50%. So that's absolutely massive. Let's see the biggest 24-hour gainer. Nothing really. So coming over here to the Bitcoin Fear Greed Index, we're currently sitting at 31, so we're up 1 point from yesterday. So it's nice to see us outside of the extreme fear range, and now we're in this fear range, kind of hovering that border there. But this is positivity. We got to take the little wins while we can, especially during these times that we've been in this extreme fear range for months on months on months, and then with the devastation that's been hitting the market, starting with the Terra Luna stuff, and then just the trickling effect that's been happening with the Celsius, the Voyagers, and so on within the markets, on top of inflation in the U.S., Jerome Powell and the Fed, and then you have geopolitical stuff that's going on around the world. So we got to take the little wins and little specks of positivity that comes in the space. So this is huge. James K. finally gives us an update here. Says, Judge Netburn has ruled on the dispute regarding the SEC's answers to Ripple defendants' fourth set of requests for admissions. The original letter motion and the court's ruling are below. So you can kind of come in here and check out James K. Fallon's. He has a Dropbox document down here. But I wanted to read a little bit of the conversation down here. So this gentleman, XRP JB, says it means Attorney Jeremy Hogan gets to do another video. So everyone's kind of been waiting on Jeremy Hogan to make a video, and he's kind of touching on it down here that sometime Thursday or Friday that he's going to put out some content. Says it. I think some things are being filed tomorrow, Jeremy says. But this is pretty cool. It's like we're calling on. They should have edited this and put his Legal Briefs logo here. That would have been pretty cool. But Fred Rispoli, responding to this update from James K. Fallon, says, this was essentially a total loss for the SEC. It has officially lost credibility. For every motion it files and every hearing it attends from here on out, it will start 2 to 3 steps behind Ripple, and most toss-up issues will go against it. And then this person right here says, what is this? Teklo Bedit XRP says, it almost sounds like the SEC is on trial. It's laughing emoji. XRP Crypto World says, the amount of patience Judge Netburn and Torres have with the SEC by now is unbelievable. It's quite obvious they are losing the XRP lawsuit. I mean, that's kind of how we all see it, pertinent information that we see. So it's just kind of a waiting game to see what happens. I wanted to cover this from Eleanor Terrett. So we were talking about Representative Sherman and his bold blanket statements, and definitely not his own words. Someone coerced him and programmed him to speak these words, but pretty much said, he literally said XRP is a security, and it's clear, quite clear. Eleanor Terrett says, when I asked Representative Sherman why he thinks XRP is a security, he told me, quote, for the reasons set forth in the SEC's position, and went on to explain that XRP investors relied on Ripple's efforts to bump up the price. He then said the proof that he's right stems from the crypto exchanges delisting XRP because they all concluded it was a security too. So he's pretty much validating his bold blanket statement, which is completely false, that because the exchanges delisted it, that variable strengthens his positions, which makes it accurate, which is completely crazy to say. She continues, when I addressed the fact that the exchanges faced a lack of clear guidance from the SEC, he said, quote, everybody knew there were skating on thin ice. They decided to skate on thin ice to make money, end quote. XRP Crypto says Brad Sherman doesn't speak for the XRP community. A few hearings ago, he didn't even know what XRP was, and now all of a sudden he's a securities expert. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, why are we even, tickling the idea of this guy speaking these things? And I get it. He's making that bold statement. New members in the community or new holders of XRP can hear that from, a representative like him, and it can, lead them to, sell off their positions or you get flooded out of the market and whatnot. I mean, words like that mean things. I feel like I got a sneeze coming. But yeah, quite honestly, I just kind of just laughed at him. It's an embarrassment for him. Clearly, there's some sort of political agenda behind that. And there's been people that's been putting it up in the Twitter community, and I wish I would have pulled it up, that, his biggest donors are, these major banks, or these big players that don't want to see, Ripple and XRP succeed. So kind of interesting. Coming over here to Johnny Deaton, he's showing some love to the community. So he's responding to James K. Fallon's update from yesterday, where it says the SEC is in a heavily redacted letter alleging threats against an expert. As Judge Torres to revoke Amici status granted to XRP holders and to bar Johnny Deaton from any further participation in the case. So obviously, this is what we're going to cover in this next video here. But Johnny Deaton says, thank you to everyone who continues to stand together. Not only do I respect you, I effing love you, with a heart emoji. The SEC can now add this tweet to the collection of tweets that give the judge and claim I should also be barred from sort of using profanity. Jeremy Hogan says, in honor of you, Mr. Deaton, I'm going to do something I never do. Cuss. Here goes. No matter what S word the SEC throws at you, keep effing going and don't give up. You are doing effing amazing. That felt strange. Johnny D says, it was strange reading your curse, sorta. That's why this community is so great and so strong. A sweet guy like Hogan comes out of his comfort zone to show support. Absolutely 100. And, Jeremy Hogan, Johnny Deaton, mad love for you within the community, being the forefront leaders on the legal side of things and really fighting the good fight. We really appreciate you, and you're going down in the history books, hands down. Even though you don't want that sort of recognition, you're just trying to do the right thing. You saw there was a void, there was a need, so you tried to fill it. Right here, this is from Coining203, gives us the updated video. It's about 7 minutes, 40 seconds. Highly informative video with Liz Clayman, Charles Gasparino, and Johnny Deaton. So let's take a listen into this.
And crypto company Ripple. Lawyer John Deaton is very much a part of that case. He's been there since the start, representing 68,000 retail investors that hold XRP. He joins us now with Charlie Gasparino. Charlie, take it away.
John, obviously the case, if you look at some of the motions, is going in your favor, going in the favor of Ripple. It seems like the judge is siding with them on motions for discovery, on document requests, including Bill Hinman, that former SEC chairman's notes involving his speech that Ripple says is a big part of their case. And you've been right there all along since the beginning as amicus curiae. And now, from what we understand, they want you gone. They're trying to get you off the case. What happened?
Well, Charlie, thank you. And thank you, Liz, for having me back on. It's crazy times. They're reasserting that things that they've already asked to the judge. I made a YouTube video where I did a satirical mock cross-examination of former Chairman Clayton, and I infused scenes from My Cousin Vinny, and I tweeted a few things that were harsh criticism, and they told the judge that I shouldn't be granted amicus status because of that. She rejected those views, granted me amicus status, and lo and behold, now they're arguing that I should be thrown off the case.
Right. Well, just so you know, I'm not saying I agree. I'm not saying I agree with them, but they described you as violent. I know you were a Marine, but you don't look that violent. But they said you said you wanted. There was one thing where you satirically suggested you would smack Jay Clayton, the former SEC chair, in the face. And there was what was the other one? It was the video of the mock video of Clayton, and also that you mentioned a witness for the SEC. Obviously, these are you were kidding around, right? I mean, just get that off the table.
Yeah, it was a mock cross-examination of Jay Clayton, satirical, exaggerated. For example, Charlie, Liz, I had a time where in the My Cousin Vinny movie, the judge says to Joe Pesci, "Are you on drugs?"
And I remember that.
And I respond to the judge pretending, no, judge, I don't use drugs, but maybe I'll need them soon. They claim that I promoted drug use. They literally argued that nonsense. The judge rejected all of this.
Well, you're losing. They are losing the case. This is, by the way, Liz threatens to kill me every day. So, and I'm still here, right?
Which I'm doing something wrong, John. I don't know. You got to help.
The poison's not working, whatever it's going on. But what are the next steps in this case? I mean, we've been going around and around. It obviously has huge implications. If Ripple wins, and they can say they're not a registered security, they're not a security.
Are
a crypto.
A crypto.
If they win,
yes, exactly.
that basically is going to curtail the SEC's regulation efforts. And it looks like they're moving in that direction, at least based on the judge's motions. What's the next step here?
Well, the next step right now, there's that Daubert motion, which is just challenging expert witnesses, and briefing next month is due for summary judgments. That's where each side tries to get a complete victory. The judge decides one way or the other, or she might decide that a jury has to issue certain factors. But you're right, Charlie, a lot is at stake because the SEC has come out and argued that the token itself, not just the way Ripple sells it, but that if anyone in the United States sells XRP, they're violating Section 5. So if the SEC were to get its way, then and deem XRP a security, the token itself, then every altcoin on the market, including Ethereum, would be in play for the SEC to get their hands on the this asset class.
I know, that's what I'm saying. This has huge ramifications. Brad Sherman told Ellie Terrett, my producer today, that he thinks that the SEC is going to win easy. He thinks that the investigation should expand, not just to this one aspect with Ripple, to any like coin wallet or any sort of aspect
which is crazy
of crypto
to hear.
that was trading the XRP or trades it. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that Congressman Sherman, along with Chairman Gensler, wouldn't know security if it bit him in the butt, to be honest with you. They keep saying that
you're going to get in trouble for saying that, by the way. That's violent.
Well, I know. I said but, so they're going to tweet that. Hey, think about this, Charlie. There is taxpayer dollars are being spent for someone to shadow everything I do and read every tweet I make. And if I may say for you and Liz, I want to quote someone very important who said, quote, the SEC's litigation tactics suggest that the SEC is adopting its legal positions to further its desired goal and not out of the faithful allegiance of the law. Charlie, Liz, you know who said that? That's not a John Deaton tweet. That's Judge Sarah Netburn saying it in an opinion.
Well, Liz has a question for you.
John, my question involves, obviously, XRP has continued, well, let's say Ripple has continued to forge ahead. In fact, they've got a pretty decent overseas business, don't they now? So they're legit overseas. Is there any way to somehow split the difference? I mean, if the SEC suddenly says, you guys are a security and not a currency, and that becomes a disaster here in the U.S., can they still continue to do business and make profits overseas?
Oh, absolutely. 95% of what Brad Garlinghouse said of XRP sales are outside the United States. And Liz, that's a great question because there's an easy win for everyone in this case. The SEC could reach a settlement with Ripple and say that early sales, when the ecosystem was at its infancy, that those sales constituted a security, but that today's XRP, it's been deemed a non-security in Singapore, Switzerland, United Arab Emirates, and many other jurisdictions. It's only in the United States being held up, and so
then
they'll survive.
Let me just ask this, John, sort of broadening the discussion here. We were higher for most of the big name cryptos, but then there was a headline that hit earlier, just a couple of hours ago, that Peter Thiel-backed crypto company had gone bankrupt. So now you've got Celsius. You've got this one, and it makes you wonder if the SEC looks at this and is painting everybody with the same ugly brush.
Well, they are, but you know what there are, and let me make it clear, there are pump and dump schemes, there are fraud that's going on in any industry, including the crypto industry. But what you have is a few of these players who are using highly leveraged strategies, and the house of cards are falling. But you cannot paint an entire industry with the broad brush. Liz, I went on record to say I believe Gary Gensler is going to sue an exchange, whether it's Coinbase or Binance or another exchange in the United States by the end of the year.
Okay.
And what's your timetable for when they decide your fate on this thing?
Well, the judge, I have until Monday to give my response to the SEC asking that I be thrown out of the case and to the amicus status to be revoked. I'll answer that on Monday, and then hopefully the judge within a week will give a decision.
That's great. All right, we got to end it there, John. Thank you.
John, thank you so much.
Yeah, shout out Liz Claim and Charles Gasparino for, covering us fighting the good fight, community fighting the good fight. Johnny Deaton, shout out to Johnny Deaton. This is huge stuff. Moving on here. From Watcher Guru says Tesla earning reports reveal they sold 75% of their Bitcoin worth $936 million. I could have sworn that there was something coming out saying that if this is true, I haven't actually checked any other reports on this, but I saw a bunch of these different headlines coming out. If this is true, I could have sworn this gentleman said that he wasn't going to, Tesla wasn't going to sell any of theirs. Interesting. But yeah, that's kind of the update, and that's kind of what's going on in the Ripple versus SC case. One of the major headlines within the space right there. Tesla selling theirs. Make sure you come to the Crypto is Key Conversation YouTube channel. Subscribe, follow us on Twitter at Crypto is Key 1. We're really excited to keep bringing you content and growing our community here. With all that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.